Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So in this one, this is another Q&A video for episode 19 and mostly episode 20. We are getting into a bunch of Commonwealth questions, and yeah, I'm really excited for this episode. I know a lot of it's going to focus on Princess, but I'm actually really interested in meeting the Commonwealth and seeing more of what they're going to be like. So yeah, before we go any further, if you are new here and you want more Walking Dead content like this, just make sure to be a subscriber. I also have a question for you guys, and if you could let me know down below in the comments section, I would really appreciate it. I've had the ability to have like the join button and all of that on my channel for like, I mean, it's been a long time, a year or two, but I haven't used it because I never really saw a use for it. But if I were to do weekly Q&As, maybe before the episode aired or afterwards, depending on what you prefer, I think I would do it before the episode just because, well, I guess no, it depends. I could do it afterwards. Like, it would make more sense if a lot of you guys have watched the episode and then want to jump into a members only like live stream and talk about it. I could do that. But yeah, it would be a weekly thing. I'm thinking it would be every single week after the episode or before. It depends on what you guys think. But I would just like to grasp how many people are actually interested in that, because yeah, it is something I would be willing to do. I would be willing to actually put the extra effort into doing that, because it is a lot of fun to do. I really do enjoy doing live streams. I just never usually have the time for it. But if I did something like this, I would be forced to have the time for it, and it would be a lot of fun. So yeah, just comment down below if you guys are actually interested in that, because maybe I can get that started for like this Sunday or the Sunday after. It depends. I don't know how long it takes and what exactly I need to do. Maybe I can get it done, or definitely before Here's Negan. First question, do you think Gabe might get Magna's comic death? He's been very reckless as of late. Love the vids, by the way. This actually completely threw me off because Magna doesn't die in the comic, does she? Like, I don't remember her actual death, so no, Gabe wouldn't get that. I guess in that sense, could Gabe not die on the show? Yeah, he could obviously not die on the show. Thoughts on the foreshadowing with the water tower in episode 19? I think it makes sense that Gabriel will die with his recklessness. I hope they still adapt the water tower death since we didn't get that. Probably because at the time the show was still planning to go on. Yeah, you know, like I could actually see Gabriel getting that death because of how reckless he's being. It really is because of that. Like, he needs to learn some type of lesson. And usually on this show, it's because of loss. It's usually how people on The Walking Dead learn lessons, right? Either he's going to lose Rosita or like Coco, or he dies. It's going to be something like that. And I just don't see them killing off Rosita because she's like a more original character than Gabriel. She was around in season 4. Gabriel came around in season 5, and you kind of want Eugene and Rosita's relationship to still stay there because that's always going to be so strong. And I can really, like, honestly, I can picture Gabriel dying, maybe having the water tower death, definitely in the final season. And the reason is because Eugene and Rosita maybe could have a friendship, or not friendship, but more of a relationship, or they just take care of Coco together, right? They're just really, really good friends. Eugene watches over Rosita and Coco. I can see that. And so, yeah, I do think it could be very foreshadowing. Now, this is a big one here. I'm just gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna put on the screen here, but Rick Movie 1 is about escaping the CRM and is going to air before the show ends, The Walking Dead season 11, and is going to air before the show ends. I could see that. The Walking Dead season 11, Morgan finds Dwayne, possibly. Daryl killing Dwight. If Dwight returns, I could see that, yeah. And that leads to a conflict between The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead characters. Maybe. That's just kind of hard because we have Daryl and Carol and them leaving, but I could see that. Herschel kills Negan. No, that's not happening. Definitely not. Rick escapes CRM and runs into the Commonwealth. I don't think the Commonwealth are going to be in the movies, maybe towards the end, but I don't think that's necessarily going to happen right away. The CRM follows him to get him back. They eventually arrive at the Commonwealth. CRM helicopters are flying over the Commonwealth and forcing them to drop their weapons. The Commonwealth doesn't do so, and that's what leads us into the second movie. I do like that idea. I do like the fact that the Commonwealth and CRM would get into this war, and I think that could happen. I definitely think that's something that they can definitely build to. It's just a big thing with that too is, you know, like, that is exciting, but like, you got to remember, it's The Walking Dead. This is a zombie apocalypse story. And so, like, you know, if you're getting into wars like that, this doesn't really become a zombie show unless you're going to make it like a zombie war. I don't know how you would do that, but you would have to be very creative with that in some way. I think that's the only way you can really do it, is if you make some type of zombie war where you use zombie as your ammunition, as your weaponry, and just if there was something more, I guess the point of the war maybe was about the cure and things like that, then yeah, I can see an actual war taking place. But you can't just have them going together because they're two big entities like that, right? Because That's more like a military movie. It's not really The Walking Dead. But I do like how you're thinking, though. I do like the things that you said. I can see that. Like, that would be pretty cool to actually have. If Rick ended up at the Commonwealth, if that actually happened, that's how you can have certain characters be in the movies. And then somehow it intertwines with the CRM. And yeah, and then you can have the whole Walking Dead cast in the movies. Imagine that. Like, that's how AMC gets Andrew Lincoln back, is like, he doesn't come back to the show, but they just end the show, do movies, and so he's there for the movies, right? Was Maggie not with the Commonwealth? No, she was not at the Commonwealth. She was, I can't remember the place, Knoxville. She was in Knoxville for a bit and a bunch of other places, but no, she never, I mean, she could have ran into the Commonwealth. Like we will know that for sure when our group meets them, and when she meets them and runs into them or whatever. Depending on her reaction, we'll know. So, do you see Rick uniting with Michonne and Judith the same way they did with Carl and Lori? Imagine that. Imagine like the dad. Oh, yeah, like that scene. I think it's going to be a very emotional moment. And I think it would be absolutely amazing if, music-wise, they actually took some parts of that, some notes, some certain melodies there, and mixed it in there with, like, obviously a new thing for Michonne and Judith, just because it's Rick finding his family again. And this time I would say it's probably more emotional. Well, actually, I couldn't even say that because he was gone for so long. The state of mind for these characters is so different, right? Because they're used to this. They're used to death. They're used to the apocalypse. So being ripped away like this obviously is still hard, but it's something that they think about quite a bit. Whereas before, it was just normal life. Rick was in a coma, woke up, his family was gone. It was the apocalypse. Like, that was traumatizing for him. So I would say it depends on the situation. They're both different, both tragic. But have you seen the trailer for Jeffrey Dean Morgan's new movie called The Unholy? I haven't seen the trailer for it yet, but I'm interested in it. I saw an image for it. I'm actually really interested in checking it out because, yeah, it looks really cool. I don't know what the movie's about. Is it a horror movie? Because if it's a horror movie, I'm definitely going to watch it. But yeah, I'll have to check it out later. Do you like Daryl or Carol better? I'm starting to like Carol less, and I'm afraid that the Daryl and Carol spinoff might suck because of her. If I had to choose who I prefer over Daryl and Carol, I would have to say Daryl because I've always liked Daryl more than Carol. And in terms of the show sucking because Carol is there, I mean, it depends. Like, I do see some of the criticisms with Carol because it's always the same issues with her. It's always the same, like, I don't know if we should be here. And she's so down and just depressing about everything. And she never wants to fight for the people that she loves, really. It's more of, you know, she waits until they die and then they get revenge, but she does it kind of on her own. And you know, there's a lot of issues there and things that definitely frustrate me, but I still like the character. Like, I still like her and I still will defend her. Like, when Yumiko hit her in one of those episodes in season 10, I was actually pissed off at Yumiko. Like, you don't hit Carol like that. And I know Carol kind of deserved it. I saw where Yumiko was coming from, but I still defended Carol for that. I was pissed off. Like, you don't hit Carol like that. So it depends, you know, it depends on, I guess, it depends on what they want to do with the characters. I hope they do something more original with it. Like, I really liked Carol when she was different, I guess, with Henry and with all of them. She was a different character, and when she's like alone Carol, that's where I don't like her too much. So we'll have to wait and see. Do you think we will see CRM hints in season 11, maybe in 11B or C? I don't think so. I think that's movie stuff. If anything, in the movies, maybe we could see the Commonwealth a little bit or hints that there's other communities out there. Because the CRM, they are like at least 4 times as massive as the Commonwealth. And I think they've been keeping tabs on other communities. So in that way, they could be aware. But do you think episode 20 will end with the group being taken to the Commonwealth? Yeah, that's like my prediction right there, is that it's going to end with that. It's just, do we see it? Like, do we see the Commonwealth or not? That's kind of where that's what I'm wondering right now. What is your favorite moment in the Commonwealth arc in the comics, and how do you think it will play out in the show? It's hard to say what my favorite moment would be, but if I had to choose anything, I guess it would probably be when they first arrived there, probably, and like the whole Wall of the Lost thing, and just the revelation of this place and how amazing it is. That was really cool. Dwight's death was shocking, but not much came of it afterwards. Although tensions were rising and all the rioting was really cool, especially when it led to Rick's death, but I was expecting something more at that point. Looking back at it, I could see the rioting and stuff like that being a lot of fun. I think on the show they can actually make it where Daryl, Michonne, or no, Michonne's not on the show, but Daryl and Carol, Maggie and all of them, they are maybe at odds because some of them want to stay in the Commonwealth, some of them don't. Like, maybe Maggie wants to try and make the Commonwealth work. Maybe Carol does too. but Daryl really doesn't want to, and they pick sides and all this stuff goes on, and then rioting starts, you feel these tensions start, and there's just kind of this war, right? It would be like Woodbury again, which is kind of cool. Do you think Rick will reunite with Negan? I feel like Rick needs to know that he changed him. Yeah, it's happening. It's definitely going to happen. Like, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has talked about it, Gimple has talked about it. That is going to happen at some point. It's just when. Is it going to happen in the movies or on the show? But I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys so much for posting all of your questions. Again, if you want to take part in these Q&As or at least have a chance to, just go follow me on Instagram. That's just at MusicMan on Terry Street. The link for that should be down below. Next week's Q&A will be focused on our reactions to the Commonwealth and then going into episode 21, which is titled Diverged. Again, I'll try work out some of the membership things because I really want to do that. I want to know if there's some interest there first. So yeah, just let me know down below, and I hope you guys all enjoyed this one.